on. Let me get myself together here as per usual. Just get myself together, making sure I am set to go. Getting all my notes in order. Making sure all my technology is fine. All right. All right, here we are, people. I hope everyone is doing fine. Let me know how I sound. Is the sound okay? Need to know that, of course, before we get going. So drop a comment in. Let me know if you can hear me. I would appreciate that. Wide array of spectacles I can use. Oh, thank you, Day Springs. That's what I needed to know. Make sure it sounds good. Thank you, Hank. Welcome in, everybody. Tonight, little fall menu live stream. And I got quite a few topics that we can discuss tonight. Now's a good time. If you have anything you want to talk about, I can go ahead and thank you, Devin. I can go ahead and drop any topics you guys want to cover this evening in my list here. Like I said, I got quite a few. If you see Devin has that beautiful green, Devin's a member of my YouTube channel. So that means Devin gets to participate in workshops with me and get special content that the public doesn't get to see. So thank you, Devin, for being a member. I truly appreciate that. Okay, well, if you guys don't have anything you specifically want to talk about, then I'm going to go ahead and get on with it with the first topic of the evening. Well, this topic, somebody asked me, they said, oh, actually, we're not even at 8 o'clock yet. I'm jumping the gun. We're going to give it another minute. Let some more people come in. I'm ready to go. So I guess I got two choices of spectacles. I can look at myself, and my grandson broke the arm on that one. And then I have these bad boys, which I don't know if I like them yet. I'm not sure if I like these glasses. I don't know. I don't know. I think they make me look older than I already am. I don't know. Sorry if you can see the reflection. I gotta have my laptop over here just so I don't miss any wonderful comments from people. Okay. We're about a minute away before I can officially begin with the list of topics. I hope everyone's summer has gone well. Oh, thank you, Day Springs. You can always catch the replay, of this video after it uploads through YouTube. But yeah, being live and, asking questions and us talking back and forth is always a fun part of it. But sorry you can't stay Day Spring, but hopefully you can catch the replay. All right, so we're officially at 8 o'clock, my time, Central, and I can begin. About the halfway. Day Springs is applying for a food business registration today. That's awesome. That's a great moment. When you apply for it, you get accepted, and your business is ready to go. That's always a fun thing, to do that. About halfway through our season, I would say, well, about halfway through mine anyway. Now's the time we really want to start thinking forward. Like I was telling our members in our workshop Monday, that, during the winter, I'm planning my spring and summer menu. During the summer, I'm planning my fall and winter menu. So we're right at that time that I am personally working on that with Christy, and we are going over these fall menu items. But first question I have up today came from Facebook. Actually, they wanted to know what size of cups for hot chocolate and the pricing structure. Luciano, welcome in, buddy. Um, what size of cups? Well, I mean, it's a little different than lemonade. Lemonade, you're going to want to go 24 or 32 ounce as a base, right? For hot chocolate, we go 12 or 16 ounce. Primarily, we go with 16 ounce. We'll go to 12 if, I don't know, they're out of 16 ounce or something. But yeah, we go 16 ounce, $5 for traditional hot chocolate, and we'll add $1 when we do like the whipped cream and the flavors, like the syrup that we're going to put on top of the whipped cream. We'll add another dollar for that. So that's kind of the sizes that we use. 12 and 16 primarily go with, for us anyway, the 16 ounce styrofoam cup. That's what we serve our coffee in. It's what we do our shaved ice in. So, we're buying an inventory product for shaved ice, coffee, and hot chocolate, and they're all the same size. So not a bunch of different sizes of cups at our locations, just straight 16 ounce across the board. Like I said, if our supplier or Sam's Club or whatever doesn't have 16, we will do 12 and then cut the price down. But yeah, we really like the 16 ounce. Then somebody says, or asks rather, what size for lemonades? Well, lemonade, I think you're really good in that wheelhouse of 24 ounce and 32 ounce. And make that your base. One of those two sizes, and you should be good. We do 24 ounce. Most vendors, I believe, do 32 ounce. So you just have to go with what you think is best for your company and your business model. Devin, do I use a premix? Yeah, I actually have a video on my YouTube channel. I think it's entitled Hot Chocolate Recipe, and I make my own premix. And that is what we use. And now how we do this, let me scratch a couple of these things off here. With the lemonade, okay, and the hot chocolate recipes, I posted a video of our base mix, I don't know, about a year ago maybe, roughly, but it's on my YouTube channel. Check that one out. And how we make it is a lot of people ask, like, how much water do you add for the recipe that I put out? If you ever watch that video, you're going to be like, Mike, why didn't you list the water? Well, the reason is because we do our hot chocolates like we do our lemonades, right? Takes the same amount of time. Matter of fact, it's quicker with the hot chocolate. So we get the hot water, or we put 2 to 3 tablespoons of my premix in a 16 ounce cup. Then we put the hot water in. Then we take the whisk that is battery powered. You can order them anywhere, probably, and they have a little beater on them. We stick them in a 16 ounce cup, turn on the thing, pull it up, pull it down, pull it up, pull it down. It mixes the hot chocolate really well. Then we can either lid it, put the lid on it, and serve it as our traditional double chocolate. Or then we can start, if you want to do the add-ons, then we can start, Devin, adding the whipped cream and sprinkles, or busted up peppermint, whatever flavors that you want to do. You can add that on at that point. Guys, it doesn't take any more time than a lemonade. I have heard people say, doesn't that take a lot of time? No, same amount as a lemonade, not a big deal. Put the mix in real quick, Put the water in, put the thing, put the electric beater in, whisk, whatever, up and down a couple times, turn it off, put it to the side, put the lid on it, away you go. Matter of fact, it's a little bit quicker than lemonade. So that's the way we do it. So if you go look at that video, I got that mix. But for the members, I'm going to be doing a video in the next couple weeks and going in detail over my mix and some of the other recipes I used for my lemonade. There's my buddy Doug. Doug Norton, how are you tonight, my friend? Thank you for coming in. Just a tad late, but better late than never, Doug. So I'm definitely happy you're here, my friend. Good. I'm glad to see you're good. So yeah, we're just talking about, Doug, just to kind of catch you up. We did sizes that I do for our hot chocolate. Then we talked about something you know very well. What kind of sizes for lemonade vending? Somebody asked. And then we're just kind of dipping our toe into hot chocolate. Let's see what Luciano says. By the way, I'm doing a big festival in 3 weeks with lemonade. I used a 24-ounce cup, but there will be others there with 32-ounce cup. Do you think I should go 32 as well? No, Luciano, I do not think you should match your competitor. I think you should sell a 24-ounce at a more affordable product. And you know how I feel about doing fruit instead of syrups. That's just my opinion and how we take on the competition. We just want to create a better value for the customer than what my competitors are giving them. But Doug Norton's right. You do you. I mean, you got to do what is best, what you think is best for your company. But Luciano, if you're asking me, so I'm going to tell you what I think, my friend, and you know I have no problem telling you what I think. No, I would not do that. I go 24-ounce, cheaper price than your competitors, do the fruit, in my humble opinion, and provide a better value and outsell them 2, 3, 4 to 1. I don't know. That's just a model that we stick with and has done really well for us. So kind of back to hot chocolate here. This is really important, I think, for shaved ice vendors and lemonade vendors is moving to the fall. Okay, what we don't want to do, at least I don't want to do as a vendor, is fight against Mother Nature with my products, right? I'm not trying to sell shaved ice and ice cold fresh squeezed lemonade in my region under 60 degrees. Why? Because I've tried that many years ago and failed miserably. And I couldn't sell. So I had to, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to move and not fight Mother Nature, right? We're going to do what Mother Nature dictates. Cold weather, hot items, right? Hot weather, cold items. Let's not force ourselves into selling things that are going to fight against Mother Nature. Hopefully, I explain my thought process there on how we kind of do our company based upon the temperature. So, hot chocolate is really important, I think, because that automatically, you jump from lemonade, shaved ice, right to gourmet hot chocolates. Now, can you use Swiss Miss instead of a gourmet recipe? Well, yeah. I mean, that's like saying, can you use country time instead of fresh squeezed? Well, you can, sure. And you may do okay with that. But I think just from our experience, you will sell more hot chocolates with a really good base homemade mix. Because why? Because it tastes better. That's why. Just like a fresh squeezed lemonade tastes better than a Country Time lemonade. Now, there may be some people out there who like Country Time a lot more than Fresh Squeeze, and there may be some people that like Swiss Miss more than fresh or than your own mix. But I will say this, hold on. If you are serving an array of products, okay, like we do, right at our concession stands. I'm talking right now just on a concession side, not our mobile side. Um, if we're having an event that I want to really push the food out and my labor with the people I have available, I don't, if we have to make the mix, if we're selling a whole bunch of it, and then we got to make the mix there on site during sales, well, and if I'm not trying to highlight our hot chocolate, then I will use Swiss Miss. But if I'm trying to focus and want the hot chocolate to be the focus of what I'm selling, we don't use Swiss Miss in that occasion, right? Just like we use Country Time at certain events if our lemonade is not going to be the focus of the event. Same thing. You just reverse roles. And it's kind of funny how the food business is the same every season. It doesn't matter if it's spring, summer, fall, or winter. It's and the methodologies and tactics are the same for us. It's just different food products. That's it. So follow, if you're a fresh squeezed lemonade vendor and you want your lemonade to be your highlight, do the same thing with hot chocolate. Get a good mix, make it yourself. Now, here's another great thing about hot chocolate. We sell our premix. That's right. We have them in bags, Ziploc bags, ready to go. So people like the mix. Not only do they buy hot chocolate, then they'll buy our mix along with it. Because this mix is made by us. I'm not saying it's proprietary by any means. I put the recipe out on YouTube for anyone to use it. But you're not getting this mix in the store, right? So, yeah, it's great. Just like you're not getting fresh squeezed lemonade at a store. This is why hot chocolate, I think, is a better product overall, because you can do this. You can sell your bag mix along with your hot beverage. And we do fairly successful just selling our bag mix, and it's great to do that. We sell it for, we fill up with different size Ziploc bags, and we will sell them for different price points. And what's great about it is that mix, it stay on the shelf. Shelf life is great on that mix, right? It's all dried goods. As long as, you keep it sealed or whatever, and, you don't have it free, getting frozen or get it to extreme temperatures. As long as you keep it in rational, it'll last you months. It's great. And so, highly recommend making your own mix and checking out my recipe and tweaking it to whatever fits you. Now, I will say the secret to my recipe and how we can do so many different flavors of hot chocolate is the powdered coffee creamer that we use to flavor the hot chocolate mix. Not only does the coffee creamer give it that taste, if you want to do peppermint hot chocolates, which we kill at during the winter, we don't sell them so much in the fall. We do those in the winter. But you can have hazelnut, French vanilla, just walk down an aisle at your grocery store, look at all the different types of powdered coffee creamers, and let your imagination run wild, and then make your hot chocolate mix based off of those flavors. So you're having a real double hot chocolate, right? A real hazelnut. Whatever. Just throwing out examples here. Kinsley And when you have fresh fruit, do you smashing it or do we just put it in whole? We use a pneumatic smasher. Oh, okay, okay. Here's what you do. Um, with your fruit, and I also have another video on how I do my lemonades, Jay Kinsley. We muddle our lemonade, our fruits up, our frozen fruit. We use frozen fruit. We muddle that up, and then we scoop it into the cup, and then we add the lemons, and then we smash it, if that makes sense. Dana, welcome in. Wendy is a new member. She just joined yesterday. Wendy, thank you for joining the membership team. I really appreciate that. Do you charge for more flavors or toppings? Absolutely. We have a standard hot chocolate, right? That with our mix and hot water. And then we charge more for the whipped cream on top and then the lines of syrup that, you know, like Hershey's chocolate syrup or caramel syrup. You know what I mean? Something like that down the sides. Or if they want crushed peppermint on top or crushed Oreo. That's what's so great about that. Marshmallows, absolutely. Marshmallows. You can even do this, Wendy. You can even have a little bitty burner, you know, one of those little burners. You can toast marshmallow. Now this takes a little more time. We don't do the toasting part, okay? Very much. Unless we are at a mobile event and we are only doing hot chocolates, because that gives us time. We'll have a couple people there, maybe 3 working that event. Then we'll have someone who's literally just torching. Yeah, or torch is fine. We like the burner method because we can kind of set it on it and do something else and rotate it. And at least it's like, you know what I mean? As opposed to the torching it, which is fine, which is great. But yeah, we do, we toast some marshmallows and we can put them on top. You know, we obviously charge more for that. And that's why hot chocolate is great. You can incrementally step up the ladder with your pricing structure, right? Lemonades are pretty flat, right? You're going to do a standard lemonade and then a lemonade with some kind of flavoring, whether it's snow cone flavoring, purees, or fruit like I do. I do not, Devin. Honestly, that'd be a pretty boring video of me just toasting a marshmallow and then sliding it on, right? So, but that's it. It takes like, depends on the size of the marshmallows, how many you want to do. But we're talking 30 seconds, maybe a minute, just depending upon how big the marshmallows are, right? So this is why hot chocolate is so great. And this is why out of our 20 locations, we make more net revenue of hot chocolate during the winter and the fall, the winter, and early spring than we make off lemonades. Now, if you live down south, I got a buddy who's in our Discord server, Morvis. Well, he lives in Texas, and you're not going to sell as many hot chocolates in Texas in the winter than you will here in the Midwest in Kansas City, just because it gets way colder, right? Just because it's there. So the further north you go, the longer your hot chocolate season goes and the more money you can make. Just like on the flip side, shaved ice and lemonade, those guys make more money and their season lasts longer because weather dictates everything. Devin, you're in Maine? Yeah, you do some gourmet hot chocolates, right? You're going to crush it in Maine. You can start selling those things. I don't know, Maine. My son lived there in Maine for 2 years, actually. Him and his buddies started a moving company up there in Maine. Portland, Maine is where he lived for 2 years. And yeah, if you're going to do that, yeah, you'll kill it in Maine. Your season will start earlier. Your season will last longer. So you'll probably make triple what you make on hot chocolates. Now, I don't know about events in winter in Maine, you just go indoors and do it, right? So, got some of our hot chocolate stuff out. Go ahead, guys, and drop things you want to discuss in there. Definitely, you know, bring those up, and we can talk about them as we go along here. So feel free. This is an interactive platform, so feel free to talk about anything you want, and we can talk back and forth. Okay, I got this question from somebody, and I wasn't going to do it because honestly, I get it every single live stream. Every single live stream. Somebody brings this up. But, Devin, I'll get back to you in just a second. We're going to go to we're going to flip the lemonade business. They asked me, Mike, what is best for my business? A pneumatic smasher, a manual, crank manual squeezer, or a hand squeezer? Well, if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know I love the hand squeezer. But that's just because that fits my business model, right? And so I'm sorry, people, I watch my live streams all the time. You see this question come up, but I feel like I have to answer it because I literally got 3 questions this week. And I told them all, watch the live stream I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it up there. So here you go. Pneumatic smasher, more expensive. Does it, and the sounds can provide some attraction to people outside of you. They cost more. They can provide a better show, if that's the word you want to use for it. There's a benefit there. The manual, like hand crank, hand squeezer, whatever that is, that's kind of like in between the hand squeezer. It's quicker still, I think, than pneumatic press. Not nearly as fast as a hand squeezer. Costs significantly less than a pneumatic press. I just don't like them. Again, for me, I don't like having to empty the seeds out all the time and dump out the pulp every 5-10 lemonades. For us, the model we have always gets tangled up, and for some reason, I get really freaking sore after a full day of cranking it, more so than I do with the hand press, right? Like my whole body, you do 1,000 lemonades with that crank thing. I mean, guys, you feel it in your shoulder, your back, your arms, your legs, your gluteus maximus, your calf muscles. Guys, that thing is a straight up workout. And I am not in the best physical shape of my life. I am not at the peak of my physical dominance like I was many years ago. So, yeah, I do the hand squeezer. And maybe as I get older, if we continue to do the business, maybe I'll change to a pneumatic just so I don't have to do the hand press. But I like the hand press. Number 1, keeps the overhead down. Number 2, it's quicker. And for I really get worried about things breaking down. I've had some major things go wrong with mechanical things during big events. And if we're showcasing lemonade, and that's like one of our main things, I can't afford to have something break on me. So that's why we do the hand press. That's just why. That's just us and our business model. Nothing wrong with any other. But people ask me, what should they use for their business? What works for you? That's what you should use for your business and what you think is best. But that's just my methodology behind it. What does Doug say? For me, the pneumatic smasher is the best solution because I have really bad arthritis. Yes, in his shoulder. If it weren't for the pneumatic, we'd have a hard time making very many lemonade. Absolutely. And as we get older, and if we decide to do, on the mobile side, focus a lot more, on lemonades, and we'll move to a pneumatic. But for now, the hand press is just fine. My physical prowess has waned over time too. Yep. So who knows? One day I could be telling people why I chose a pneumatic press and why I'm using it. But for me, currently, right now, the hand press works for us. So for all the veterans that watch every live stream, I really appreciate you. But and I know you see that question every live stream, but I got asked several times, so I felt obliged that I had to do it. Next, not to take away from the members in our workshop, but I did ask the members this, and I'm going to ask you guys this as well. Okay, just clear your mind for a second, my friends. How do we get our menus for the fall? Like, what do we envision? And we try to come up with new items every year. So I'm going to ask you guys, and I'm not going to answer. I want one answer from each person. If you could type this in for me. Name me one flavor in your mind. When I say fall, what is one flavor that comes to mind? Go ahead and type that in here. We're going to do a little Coach Mike here is gonna work with my athletes here for a minute. Go ahead and type that in. Give me one. Cider, okay? Cider, apple, perfect. What else? What other tastes of fall or senses of fall? Jason, thank you very much. You know I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Jason, for the $5. Jason, it's because of people like you I still do these live streams. I know you really appreciate my content when you give me a tip. And everyone else, thank Jason because he's the reason I'm still doing these as often as I do. Because I know people really appreciate the content when they're willing to give up $5 for a live stream. Thank you, Jason. Jason, I truly appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. So back to these questions. Yeah, I just want one item, guys. Yeah, give me, what else do you think of fall? So if you've already, let me go through some of these here. Pumpkin spice, absolutely. Caramel, yes. It's another. Apple, yes. Cider, yes. I can't understand the language there. I am sorry. I don't know if that is Arabic. I do not know that language and cannot read it. So I am sorry about that. So yeah, there we go with that. Yeah, can't read it. I'm sorry. So hopefully you have Google Translate on so you know what I'm saying. Because I have no idea what I would sound like in Arabic. I don't know. Never heard myself in another tongue. So when you're thinking about the tastes of fall, I think it's very important that we focus our menu just like we do with the summer, right? Summer, we think strawberry lemonade, right? That is strawberry, or that is summer at its essence, right? So, yeah, so we're going to just, like I said earlier, we're going to go through our same thought processes, just use different types of foods. So if you have foods with, say, cinnamon, wouldn't that be to me, that is fall to me. Cinnamon, nutmeg, those types of things. So we want to center our menu around these things that we listed here. Every item you mentioned there was on my list. Yeah, there's so many hot chocolates you can do, Steve. It's crazy. I mean, the amount that you can do. But again, we don't want to do so many that we have dust sitting on our bottles, right? On our containers. For me, it's more important to have some variety of flavors, but hone it in. I think we'll do 4 as a max. Even if we're showcasing, if we're just doing our hot chocolates, we'll do 4 as our max. If we're having other ingredients or other food products, but we still want to highlight our hot chocolate, we'll do like 2, maybe 3. But again, we like to keep things streamlined. And I think 4 for us has been like right in our wheelhouse. Do you do syrups in the hot chocolate or just the creamer? We do the syrup on top of the whipped cream for us, not actually in the mix. Um, Everything we do in our mix is all dry, so that way we can add it to water. Right? We don't have any liquid in there whatsoever. So we don't add syrup until we put the whipped cream on top. Then we'll drizzle the syrup down the side of the whipped cream, and that's how that works. So taste the fall. I think that's really important that we focus our menu around that. So you can do cinnamon hot chocolates. You can do cinnamon apple cider. Put sticks of cinnamon sticks inside of it. Now we haven't had massive luck with apple cider personally, just us. We've had better luck, honestly, with a really good coffee than we have had with apple cider. Okay, that's so for us as a company. Apple cider is third. Hot chocolate is first. A good blend of coffee is second, and third for us is apple cider. Now I'm sure there's people that apple cider sells extremely well for them, and that's great. It's fine. Just for us in our market, it just doesn't work very well for whatever reason. I mean, we sell some, but I don't know if I've ever sold out like I have of other stuff. Now I want to talk about coffee for a minute. We do coffee. We do a couple different things here, okay? We don't do like Folgers or Maxwell House. Again, we're doing something a little different, right? We want to up our game. We have found great success going with a local blend, a local house blend. Whatever famous, whatever's famous in your city or area, because there's tons of coffee shops, right, that make up their house blends or ones that are distributed in stores or whatever. That's what we use. And we advertise that we are using this local gourmet coffee, and it usually sells really well, more so than your standard coffee. And it doesn't take much for coffee. You just need a coffee maker. That's it. You have a couple of them if you want, whatever. Depends on your volume of coffee. But yeah, coffee's been okay for us. We have actually sold out of coffee before. So yeah, coffee works okay. But for us, the tip from me to you is use a local house blend and advertise that on your signage that you are using this local blend, because people will recognize it and then they will purchase it from you. If you just say you have hot coffee, customers have no idea what kind of coffee. It could be Walmart brand. It could, you know what I mean? I'm not buying just coffee. I consider myself I wouldn't say I'm a coffee connoisseur. I'm not there, but I like a good blend. And so if I see a good blend for sale somewhere, I'm going to buy it. And I think a lot of people will do the same thing. So that's my advice, to sell more coffee. And I think that's the best thing to do. Local house blend, put on your signage, charge appropriately, and you can have all kinds of different creamers for that if you want to. Now for a coffee, we serve it just straight up black, but we will have liquid creamers, like just a little bitty cups that they can pop off and pour in there. And so for us, it's like no labor whatsoever. Just pull the coffee, pour it in, pull it down, depending, from our urn, depending how much we think we're going to be selling at said event, and do it from there. So, yeah. Okay. Next, here's some more items we're going to talk about, just so you guys know kind of what's coming. I'm going to talk about foods. I'm going to talk about fall events. We're going to talk a little bit about nachos independently of foods. And then we're going to talk about commissaries. So those are the last things I got on my list. If you guys have anything you want to talk about, as always, it's interactive, my friends. Feel free to drop that in. Okay, Foods. Well, there are certain foods that we have found go really well in the fall, in the winter, and in the spring. And so we really push these more so than we do in the summer. Number one at the top of the list, chili hot dogs or chili cheese hot dogs. Those are great. Those are top of my list. Chili dogs go extremely well in the fall and winter for us. Oh, thank you, Wendy, and I can't wait. Thank you for being a new member of the membership group, and definitely catch some of those membership videos I made for you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, Wendy. I appreciate you. So chili dogs, those are great. Pulled pork nachos. We sell a ton of them, guys. A ton of them in the fall. And if maybe you've heard me talk about them before, maybe you haven't, but the pulled pork nachos, we get the, got a frog in my throat apparently. We get the pulled pork already pre-cooked from Sam's. All we have to do is heat it up in a crock pot or a turkey roaster. We get the nachos. You can either, depends how you want to do it, right? Put the pulled pork on top of the nachos, then put the cheese. You can put the cheese on top, then the pulled pork. My wife insists there's a certain way to do it. She swears up and down one way is better than the other. Me personally, I see no difference and have served them both ways. Sometimes, just to annoy her, if there's a customer that orders two of them, I'll make one of them with the pulled pork, then the cheese, then the next one I'll do cheese, then the pulled pork. I'll serve them right next to each other. She'll look at me. I've never heard a complaint about how that should actually be stacked. I think you're good either way. This comes down to you as a vendor and what your presentation thinks looks to your eye. So yeah, that's what we do with that. Hamburgers. I have never done a video, I don't think, on hamburgers. I'm going to be doing one very soon. We sell a lot of hamburgers, guys, and cheeseburgers. They really, really come into their own in the fall, particularly at high school football games. I don't, a ton. So over 1,000 of them, I guess, at a high school football game. Sometimes we'll have 2 8-burner gas grills, okay, going at the same time. Have 2 different people, have one person on this grill, one person on this grill, and a person that runs in between them. Hamburgers sell extremely well in the fall. Now, I don't know everyone's health department codes and all that, but we have no problem being allowed to use grills outside. And it has to be in a flame retardant canopy, of course. But yeah, and there's nothing, guys, I sell, I don't know, over 100 items. There is nothing that draws a crowd that we sell smell-wise more so than hamburgers. The smoke is thick. The smoke is heavy. Kettle corn is great and popcorn is great for putting that smell out in the air. Hamburgers kick its rear end, man. You can smell the grill just for a very far amount of distance away from when you're cooking them. I don't know anyone's, I'm going to show my age here, but the old Popeye cartoons, and there's a guy, I think his name was Wimpy, and he used to say, "I'll gladly eat a hamburger today and pay you tomorrow," was his line, something similar to that. And then the smoke would be like a finger to his nose and then be like dragging him to the hamburgers. Yeah, the hamburgers are by far the best thing we have that puts a smell out to the crowd and brings them in. People cannot resist that. I mean, unless they don't eat red meat, of course, but those people can absolutely resist that. But anyone else cannot. And so, yeah, Hamburgers come into their own in the fall. Throw some onions on that grill and kick it up 10%. Yep, we also throw Dr. Pepper on top of the onions. We do that on a flat top. We have a flat top grill at our soccer location. And we do, because that one's a little, my demographic is more diverse at soccer than it is at softball. So we can do Italian sausages with peppers and onions. We can do chorizo. So that's why I choose to use the flat top grill up there, Doug. And we'll do peppers and onions. When we do the onions for the hot dogs or the hamburgers, we put a splash of Dr. Pepper that helps caramelize the onions a little quicker with the sugar and the Dr. Pepper. I find it even works better than Coke and caramelizes the onions a lot quicker. Gives them a sweeter taste. And then you just scoop them up, put them in the well, and or if you don't have a well for people that aren't in the restaurant industry or have a hot dog cart, you can use a turkey roaster. Just put a silver tray in the turkey roaster with water in the bottom of it, and that'll keep your onions and your peppers moist. Yeah, it's good. Try the Dr. Pepper. We find it works better than Coke. We tried root beer too. Root beer kind of leaves an odd taste. People didn't generally care for it. Plus, when we said we put them in root beer, people did not like the sound of it, Doug. So I'd stay away from the root beer. Stay with the Dr. Pepper on that. Coke would be second, or Pepsi, whatever. Okay, so I talked about foods there a little bit for the fall. Let's talk about events now. Fall events. You guys are really quiet tonight. No one, you must just be captivated by the sound of my voice and these wonderful spectacles I have on here. Yeah, no one's, Doug's keeping me hopping. Thank you, Doug, for that. I really appreciate you chit-chatting with me there. Events in the fall and summer, or in the fall and summer, fall and winter. Different, okay? Obviously, if you live in a colder area. Oh, Jason, thank you. Jason is very, very knowledgeable. He is in our workshops in our member group, and when Jason gives out information, amazing information from his long time history of being a vendor. So if you're not in a membership group, you are missing out on some great stuff that Jason brings up, and we collaborate a lot together in our workshop. So if that didn't convince you to be a member for $2 a month, I don't know what will. Jason, yeah, Jason is an amazing member, and I truly appreciate Jason. I probably should give him some money because he gives us some great ideas. Now let's talk about events. What are we doing in the summertime? We're going outside, right? Well, if you live way down south, and this isn't going to be relatable to you, okay? But to the other 90% of us, this will be us, boys. This will be right in our wheelhouse. Boys and girls, we're going to change our dynamic on our events, right? We're going to be looking to do indoor events, right? We're changing our whole focus here from going outdoor, right, to going indoor. Now, Jason talked about, as a matter of fact, I'll bring up Jason. I think he said he sold lemonade or snow cones at an indoor event and has done well with that. For me, that has just not been my experience. I mean, I can honestly say I've tried it a couple times. I am much more successful serving wintertime foods and fall foods indoors than selling summer foods during the fall and winter indoors. So we're looking for indoor events. Now, one of my best that we do every year in the winter, we do major craft shows, okay? And I mean major by anything over 50 vendors, right? 50 craft vendors. I don't like to really do anything less than 50 vendors personally. I like to look for 50 vendors and up for my craft vending fairs. And what we do Hey, Dana, I'll get right to you in a second. Thank you. I haven't read it yet, but I'll get right to it. Um, we try to get in with full concessions. We don't just try to get in there with one product. We want to sell to all the craft vendors that are going to be there for 1, 2, or 3 days. We want to sell to all the people that are coming into this craft show for 1, 2, or 3 days. And when you do that, you're selling to these craft vendors. They're there all day long, guys. They're there from 8 in the morning to 9 at night, which means you got to be there too. But we'll serve breakfast, we'll serve lunch, and we'll have a dinner menu. And we will do full concessions. So when you sign up for these craft shows, call if you can the promoter of the event, the coordinator, whatever. Try to like actually get them on the phone. And we don't, we tell them we don't want to just pay a booth fee. We want to give you more than that. We'll pay the booth fee, okay? But we'll need a couple spots. We'll pay for that. But I also want to give you a percentage of sale if you let me do it all. If you let me bring in a full menu, and then you'll see. You'll be doing, I don't know, you could do anywhere from 3 to 10 grand a day, just depending upon how big the craft show is, right? And because they have to eat there all the time, you got a captive audience with those vendors, those craft vendors, all day long, babe. They're not going anywhere, and they're gonna buy from you over and over and over again. So that's one of my best events. Um, Wrestling, okay? Wrestling competition. Now, I don't just mean a wrestling match versus like a school versus a school. They have youth wrestling organizations, okay? And these guys have age groups from 8 years on up to like 18 years old or whatever during the winter, okay? We do their tournaments, and there'll be thousands of people at these youth wrestling tournaments. Again, we want to come in and do all their concessions for them. And if some of them, they already have concessions by their PTA or whatever, and that's fine. Then we'll try to get in there with a couple products. But youth wrestling tournaments, okay, are amazing. Another one, ROTC events. We do them every winter. They're fantastic. Also, flag corps, indoor flag corps competitions at any high school. They're absolutely incredible and amazing, and the money just flows from these events. Oh man, but the craft shows, I absolutely love them. So for people that don't want to mess with trying to contact a school or whatever, the indoor craft shows for us are like top notch, particularly if you can run their full concessions. Dana, Mike, do you know anything about fry bread? No, I've never done fry bread. Honey butter or cinnamon butter. No, there's not when I think fry bread, correct me if I'm wrong because I just don't know. I think fry bread, when I'm thinking of fry bread, I'm thinking of a Native American thing. And we don't have a very big Native American population here in Kansas City. So when I think fry bread, that's what comes to my mind right away. Like a flat piece of Native American fry bread. Now churros do really well for us. But we do churros in a cookie oven. They say, Mike, where do you get a cookie oven? I don't know. Otis Spunkmeyer cookies. Years ago, they wanted me to test out, and they may still do this for you guys. You have to go to their website. I don't know if Otis Spunkmeyer still does this, but I got 35 free ovens from Otis Spunkmeyer because they wanted us to try the cookies out because we're big enough, I reckon, to really try their cookies out, and they want us to buy, $50,000 worth of cookies for them. So they gave us all these ovens, gave us some cookies to try to see if we could sell them. The cookies did not go over very well. As a matter of fact, we don't even sell fresh baked cookies anymore at all at any location. We just didn't do well with them. They just told me to keep the ovens. Okay, no problem. So they're about 14 inches. Probably can't see it with my phone. 14 inches, maybe by 8 inches. I'm just guessing. So they're not huge by any means, but they're good enough to put in a mini cookie sheet of like 10 churros. And if you have a couple of those up, you pop them in there, and we can bake churros, and those smell really good. Yeah, there we go. Wimpy from Popeye really like the hamburgers. And that's right. And that's why that's true, David, about that smell, bringing in people with the hamburgers. Okay, well, that's what I got for events. I got 2 more items on my list. You guys have not kept Steve busy with questions tonight. So I asked Steve for his help tonight moderating. And usually the questions are filled up here, and he's having to answer them because there's just so many I can't keep up with them. Steve's getting a night off tonight. So there you go, Steve. Enjoy the show, my friend. Commissary. Now, commissaries. I get this question so much. I don't really get on a lemonade from lemonade vendors very much. It mostly comes from hot dog groups I'm in. And all that. Oh, Devin, if you want a one-on-one, you need to join the elite membership. That's only $5 a month. And I do one-on-ones with everyone in that elite membership once a month. And so join that elite membership. Message me through our Discord server. Send me a PM, a DM, and we'll get together. And we'll do some one-on-one. And we'll bounce ideas off each other. And I'll help you with whatever things you have that you need someone else's advice on, Devin. So do that. $5 a month, guys. Pretty cheap for a one-on-one consultation, I think. Commissaries. Okay, so this really comes from my people that I interact with on hot dog and food truck vending Facebook groups. This doesn't really come from, and I always get it, Mike, well, how did you guys get commissaries? Well, we have our own commissary, number one, because we have concession stands. So that's taken care of from our mobile side. But we've had, before we got concessions, we had to have a commissary because we wanted to do mobile concessions. Before we got our brick and mortars, I should say, we are doing concessions out of a 10 by 10 tent, okay? We used our local, I just had a brain meltdown, Legion, oh my gosh, American Legion, holy moly. And we also used, there's another hall. Hey, Devin just upgraded. There you go, Devin. Just hit me up, my friend, via Discord through a DM, and we'll schedule a time where you and I can hang out. The American Legion, man, they are great. They were great for us. We could use their kitchen. They weren't really busy at all. So we could use their kitchen, and we paid them. I think they only wanted like $25 a month. It was something ridiculous, and they were extremely cool. No one even asked them before. Hey, Arturo Lopez, what's up, my friend? I think you are an elite member. You and I need to get a one-on-one going sometime soon, buddy. So for a commissary, that's what we've had luck with. I've had buddies that have used their local church for commissaries. No problems, right? Because a lot of churches, not all of them, of course, but a lot of churches have a banquet hall of some sort, and they have a kitchen inside that, and that's what they've used for commissaries. But for me, the American Legion, man, these guys were great. So contact them. Yeah, There you go. Yeah, and guys, don't be afraid to use your personal connection. Now here's something. Okay, let me let me just throw this out there. Don't take it personal if your personal connection turns you down for the commissary. Okay, that's guys. Don't take anything like that personal. But if you have personal connections with a church, a youth group, if you're a youth group pastor or something like that, use it, right? Use that connection you have. And there you go. Use a bar. See, Doug, I really like Doug because Doug brings value. I got excited when Doug told me that he was going to be on tonight because I know I don't have to work as hard. Doug helps me. He doesn't probably know he's helping me, but Doug is much smarter than I. And Doug will say things. I'll be like, yeah, what Doug said. Listen up. So when Doug types in, my friends, make sure you're reading what old Doug, I don't say old as in old, but yeah, I am. Listen to what old Doug Norton has to say because he's an extremely intelligent individual. Doug used a family friend that owns a bar, and he uses a bar as a commissary. That's not a church like I would use or something else, but yeah, use your connection, whatever it is, and if you have to think about it, if you need to be like, but you and the wife talk about it, you and significant other, you and your business partner, you and your kids, or just you, whatever it takes, think about people you know that have a connection to somewhere that you can get the commissary. It's a lot easier that way than to get on the phone and start cold calling. Because cold calling, you're going to get rejected a lot. And that's just something. Doug, a lot of people, Devin, have to have a commissary, even for lemonade in some of their states, like Georgia. Steve has to have a commissary for his lemonade. We don't here in Missouri, but they do. So sorry about that, Steve. But yeah. So for commissary, I ain't got a ton on it because fortunately for me, I only had to use this for a couple years. And then once I got the brick and mortar locations, when our mobile side, whether they're going to do whatever food they're going to sell. Okay. They just use one of our concession stands as their commissary. Doug, in Virginia, do you need it for lemonade and kettle corn as well? I'm interested to know that. Because I know Doug has a wonderful trailer. If you haven't followed Doug on Facebook, you should. I love Doug's business model and the different products that Doug serves because lemonade, yes, don't know about corn. Okay, interesting. Somebody asked me, Mike, I just want to start out in the nacho business. They don't want to spend a lot of money, upfront cost. How many crock pots would I need? Hey, Doug, maybe you can share it in our Discord server if you don't mind, because most of these people are in our Discord. So whenever, just put in a general, and if you don't mind tagging Devin or myself, you can, if Doug would share his Facebook in our Discord server. That way everybody can follow Doug. See, Doug, you're going to get a bunch of follows tonight, buddy. How many crock pots to do nachos? Well, what I would do, I would start off with one crock pot and then buy a turkey roaster and then put the 2 number 10 cans in the turkey roaster, have one hot, already poured out inside of the crock pot, okay? And then have 2 in the turkey roaster and then rotate. So when a crock pot's done, pour the next one into the crock pot, okay? And then get the next can, pull the wrapper off of the can. You don't want that nasty wrapper floating around in the water, okay? So put the the next rotation of your nacho cheese here. Then that way, this one will be hot and ready. Dump it and just rotate it like that. And that's how we do it. It works out really, really well for us when we do it that way. Um, so I do want to talk about nachos for a minute here. And this is my last topic. So unless anybody else has anything to add, I got my last topic here, and I can close the notebook, and I'm done with that. So if anyone else anything they want to talk about, now is the time, my friends. Nachos are absolutely incredible. I've done a video or two on nachos. Yeah, don't forget the liners. Yeah, the liners inside of the crock pot make your life wonderful. They make your life worth living again. If you're having a down time in your life, I'll tell you what you do. You pour nacho cheese in a crock pot over and over again. Let the sides get all hot and burn up. Try to clean that. Or have a crock pot with a liner inside of it and pull that liner out and barely clean the crock pot. The liner is definitely the way to go. Now it is a little cost. What were they, like $1? Oh man, I can't remember. $1.50 a piece, maybe, Steve. Well worth it though. Well worth it. I could be wrong on that price. It's been a while since I've had to buy them, since I've had to price them out. Yeah. Okay. So the nachos. Several different ways to do it. You could just do nachos in a tin. We've done this. Just made nachos the highlight. Two different ways about the chips, Steve. You can use Sam's round chips, which is what we primarily use because we usually serve nachos in conjunction with other food items. It's not a highlight for us. It's just an additional product. But if we really want to do, like, step up our nacho game and what we call gourmet nachos, we buy the chili lime nachos. They're like a rectangle. They come in bags. So they're more expensive than your traditional round nachos, but they taste excellent. And yeah, they're more expensive. They have bags that you got to kind of rip open at the top, and they're not as big as like our nacho bags we buy from Sam's. You just take a knife and split them. Or if you ever see me work at the concession stand, you'll see kind of how we have our nachos laid out. But if you do the triangle ones, they're actually after a restaurant produces them, a chain Mexican restaurant. I can't think of the name of them off the top of my head, but Sam sells them. And they're more expensive, but they're actually phenomenal chips, okay? So you buy those chips. You buy still the nacho cheese from Sam's in a number 10 can because I still feel that's probably one of the better ones out there. And then you could do like chorizo that's already been cooked. That all you have to do is heat it up. You could do ground beef. Mission brand, is that it? No, it's not Mission, Steve. It's something else. They're better than Mission. And I cannot think of the name of them for the life of me. On the Border. There you go, Doug. The On the Border ones. I think they're the best chips out there for us as vendors to flip and use on nachos. I think they taste that. I could eat a bag of those, just me, like eating them. I think they're that delicious. They're gonna use the same cheese on that, and then the toppings can be anything, guys. You could do vegetables, right? You could do sour cream. You could do guac. You can do olives. You can do all kinds of stuff to really make your nachos stand up. Excuse me, I got the water is giving me the hiccups. I promise it's water. I would show you, but it'd look like vodka and you wouldn't believe me. It's water. Got the hiccups. Maybe talking too much. Not enough questions and me talking too much. So yeah, you can take your nachos, fire water. Nah, I don't touch a hard alcohol, buddy. That's not for me. I mean, I'm 5'3". Do you really want to see an angry 5'3" man? Nah, hard alcohol makes me angry for some reason, so I never drink it. Ever. Haven't drank it since I've probably been. I don't think I'm drinking hard alcohol since I've probably been 18. So even after I became legal drinking age, I didn't even drink it. Had one bad experience, and that was enough for me. I digress. Back to can you package and sell water? I don't know. Like, I mean, we sell water. Yeah, we sell our water for 250 for a 16.9 ounce, or we sell our water in a 32 ounce cup, 32 ounce styrofoam cup, ice, water. We sell that for $1.50. So, and we sell quite a bit of that. Actually, I'm actually surprised how much tap water we actually sell. Um, I mean, not a ton, but we may sell a couple hundred in a weekend. So I'm pretty impressed with that. We sell about a cup if we get someone that wants it. Oh, you get very little call for it though. Yeah, and we don't really get a lot of it on the mobile side. We get more of the ice water on the concession side, in the brick and mortars at the ball fields, and I think that's maybe because we sell so much bottled water. They would rather pay $1.50 for tap water than $2.50 for a 16.9 ounce bottle of water. Yeah. How did the mobile do with bottled water? Like for the lemonade, Steve? Um, the trash was a problem, man. I left my boys. They didn't do it this. They went back to the old way. They're in St. Louis doing a massive job. All my boys went out there to work a massive job in St. Louis this weekend. So if you're a personal Facebook friends with me, I posted where they're going to be at. Not like any of my friends are going to go out and see them, but yeah, all my boys are out there at a big event in St. Louis. So it's at 5 hours away from me. They all went out there today, staying in a hotel overnight, and then knocking it out for the next couple days out there. It was the trash that they had a problem with. It What they liked about, if everyone doesn't know, Steve uses bottled water for his lemonade, as opposed to what we've used for years previous, is a 7-gallon container that has a hands-free switch on it that we bought from Walmart, I believe, years ago. But so yeah, we like they love how easy it was to get. They loved how easy it was to maneuver and stack, actually, which we didn't think of. This would be a big benefit with the water, was we were able to stack it really well under tables, Steve. And so we were able to actually bring more water than we normally would have, if that makes sense, with the 7-gallon containers, because the 32 packs of water allowed us more space because we're able to stack it underneath several different tables, and then also in a trailer, and in the bed of one of the trucks that they took down there too. So yeah, but the trash, man, they said, Dad, everything's good, everything's great. I mean, everything your buddy said is right, Dad. It's great to pour it. Sometimes it had a little bit left over, so that was kind of awkward. Like, they pour a little bit in the next lemonade and then open up a new one and then pour it in. So they're a little awkward with that. That kind of took a little kind of getting used to. But they had to have someone constantly running trash, because I don't remember how many lemonades they did, but it was a ton, and they had to keep running trash. We had to take someone specifically away all the time to run trash, and which normally we don't have to do that. So that was honestly a problem. That just one factor for us created more problems than just having the straight water there, because we had to constantly take somebody away from the spot to constantly run trash. So that was the only negative we had. Everything else, it was great. So if we're going to use the water again, we'll specifically use it on events that we don't have a huge volume at. Yeah. So that's how it went. Went good. Went well. Everything went better than advertised, except for the trash. And that was a bigger factor than any of us thought it would be. I was like, what a big deal. Just squish it down, sit on it or something. Dad, you don't understand. You do not understand how bad this trash is, Dad. And they couldn't leave. You can't leave your stand with these overflowing trash cans full of water bottles all over the floor. It's just not a good look. So, yeah, that was that. That's how it went. Went great, except for the trash. All right. If nobody else has anything, here we go. I love that consistent pour with the individual bottles. The trash would be overwhelming in a trailer. We use 5-gallon bottles with the electric spout for that reason. Yeah, Doug, that's the way to do it right there. Who fills our 7 gallons? Water from our concession stands. They just come in and fill them up and screw on the lid and load them up, and away they go. So that's how we fill them up. And then if we have to, if we are low and we run out of water, then we will fill them up on site. Many places have a spot that we do mobile at that you can fill your water up right there, no problem. But we've gotten pretty good about how much we're going to need, and so if we sell out of water, if we're done with the water, probably done with lemonades at that point. So that's kind of how that goes. So if nobody else has anything, we are going to get out of here for the night. Thank you to everyone that participates. Now, I was curious about tap water flavoring and bottling them. Oh, I don't know anything about, David, about bottling water. I don't know the first thing about the manufacturing side of that. That is way over my head, brother, way out of my pay grade. I got no idea how to bottle water and how to sell it. Couldn't tell you. I can tell you what Nestle does. They probably just pour it out of a tap, tighten it up, and sell it to you. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you coming in as always. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everyone coming in. If you haven't yet, join the membership group. It's only $2 a month. If you want one-on-ones, it's only $5 a month. Devin. Thank you to everyone. Devin, I really appreciate that. Jason, I appreciate that so much, guys. It makes me want to continue to do live streams. Thank you very much. Oh, Arturo, we got to get together for a one-on-one, buddy. Okay? So hit me up on Discord on that. All right, everybody. I am out of here for the night. Have a great evening. We can always continue the conversation in the chat when the video uploads here in about 5 minutes if you want. Or we can continue the chat on Discord, because I'll be looking in a Discord server and we can continue to type and talk to each other there. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for watching.